Howdy, Banger pals. Blaine Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. And this week we're covering another one, a classic, Blaine's Pig. It's the new album from Blut Aus Nord called Ethereal Horizons. It's out November 28th on Debemur Morti Productions. Despite what the name might have you believe, Blut Aus Nord are French black metal legends, which is also partially why the name is sort of nonsense, which is why I don't care if I'm saying it right or wrong, as opposed to usual when I really try and stick these things. Since their first release in 1995, they've been pushing the boundaries of black metal to their utmost limits and well past. But kind of unlike most experimental acts, Blut Aus Nord also have released phenomenal records that perfectly conform to genre standards. They are both cops and robbers, showing how to follow the black metal law to the letter or get away with absolute murder. So what's on tap for today? We guarding the Louvre or we busting in? This is actually pretty tame by Blut Aus Nord standards, and for me, that is a positive. I got into the band through their 2009 release, Memoria Vetusta 2, which is one of the 5 best atmospheric black metal albums ever released, as far as I'm concerned. I respect what they do immensely, but at the same time, I'm also like, just give me a couple more atmospheric black metal records every once in a while. We got 3 Memoria Vetustas and Hallucinogen 4 and 15. I'd like it to be a little more even, so I'm thrilled that number 16 isn't a total freak-off. We've got blast beats, we've got harsh black metal vocals buried in the mix, we've got guitar tone just begging you to space out and lose 20 minutes, and where's the bass? It's not here, who cares? It's like they're Santa and they read my Christmas list. Oh joy! Blut Aus Nord, in their experimentation, most likes to flirt with sounds from the sections of town that would be zoned for industrial. Clanging, banging, general low going. There isn't really any of that on this record, though. And if a little bit is in the mix, you wouldn't know it due to the more classic atmospheric black layer of gauze draped over the sound of the record. We get sections of tracks that could be considered in this category, like Seclusion, when things slow down and we get a simpler, more repetitive beat, but instead of mechanic, it sounds positively shamanic. Why am I talking like Eric Adams today? Have a listen to Blut Aus Nord haters become their waiters when they sit down at the table of atmospheric success. Just because they're the cops this time around doesn't mean they aren't doing a little bit of crime on the side, just like the real cops. This almost sounds like Blut Aus Nord trying their hand at a post-black record, but because they are, you know, actually a metal band, it's far more rooted in actual black metal. Shocker. The sound signature of the record, and this is embarrassing to have to say, both because it's an overused word in music reviewing, but also because it's in the album title. The album sounds quite ethereal. Why did you do this to me, guys? Why did you knew it was gonna? You knew it was gonna sound like. It's not positive sounding, but compared to how dark some of their record sounds, it's pretty angelic. We're talking biblically accurate angelic here, not some kid in a I don't want to give you the wrong impression because it's an effortless airiness that it has that gives this kind of vibe, not any sort of brightness in the sound. This means it manages to elicit some kind of like post-punk, post-rock sounds without losing touch with black metal. If post-black wasn't a thing, we might even just say that there are kind of more doom elements mixed in here. It shouldn't be a surprise, as Blut Aus Nord has always expressed a pretty nutty range, but it is really cool listening to like this and Memoria Vetusta side by side. They are very similar records, but one time they went into the studio with the word pagan in their head, and the other time they went in with the word ethereal in their head, which aren't crazy far from each other, but then sometimes they go in the studio with like Trap from Saw franchise in their head. So it's just wild to see them kind of nail all of the words on their mood board so expertly. Like, this clip could be from an Explosions in the Sky song until the end is a black metal song. Whether they're breaking the rules or following them, they do them with the strength of a band 30 years into their career. Or I should say that the strength a band 30 years into their career should have. This is the exact type of band that gets me mad at a lot of legacy acts I review. I find it really strange that if a band has put out a legendary record, they get a hall pass for their later records to be trash. And if you point out, hey, this is kind of trash, it's like, you're disrespecting legends, man. They put out a record in '83. Yeah? What have you done for me lately? But Blut Aus Nord can be 30 years into their career and still releasing records that are new, interesting, and most importantly, good. They don't even have a blood boy in the band, though Vince Vaughn wrote the first Blut Aus Nord record at like 15, so he's only 45, so bit of blood boy energy. This is a record that if you've been following the band, you can pick up bits and pieces of the journey and hear how they arrived at this, but it's not a nostalgia trigger. It's not, hey, remember when Paradise Lost sounded like Metallica? But no, Blaine, they never sounded like Metallica. They sounded very different from Metallica. I have no idea what you were talking about. It was just a coincidence. It just has become part of their sound, and they're using it to make new sounds instead of referencing a sound. I feel that this little clip, if you listen hard, you can hear a little pagan, a little industrial, a little Lovecraft, but it's a song from this album, not any of them. Blut Aus Nord are professional in a way that I am unprofessional, which is why we can't have sponsors. But thankfully, you enjoy me being unprofessional, so our sponsor is you. Through our Patreon campaign, you toss us a couple bucks, we can just make whatever we want around here, and we throw a bunch of extra content up there. Tip sheets, bonus records, uncut interviews. If you don't got a couple bucks, I know holidays can get a little tight, you know, just a like, comment, and subscribe is free and helps with the whole, you know, algorithm hell we all live in. The album closes on track 6, which is a 2-minute dreamy ambient outro that just puts you to bed so nicely. It really puts a button on things, thus bringing the album to 39 minutes, which is a little short, but my perfect black metal album is kind of like 41, 42 minutes, so not too bad. What the hell is this? What do you mean there's another song? Okay. Tracks 1 to 5 are 6 to 8 minutes long, no interludes. They can fade out in and out a bit, a little atmosphere, but it's mostly straight music. Then we get a 2.5-minute interlude as the second last song. Then the last song is 12 minutes, with the last 3 minutes of that 12-minute song being an ambient fade out. No, I'm sorry, no, I'm shutting it down. It's not a runtime thing, it's a whiplash thing. I checked the liner notes to make sure it wasn't a bonus track. Because, the album ends, and then the longest song on the album, even if you cut out the ambient end, but you can't because it's a part of the track, and it's longer than the interlude. I'm sorry, either you lose the interlude or you lose the last track. The last song doesn't suck. I don't have any issue with it. But if my instinct with how your album ends is to check the promo email and then go, I still don't want to look like an idiot, check the Bandcamp and go, what about Metal Archives? To just triple confirm that I don't say some dumb shit here and look like a moron? Something has gone wrong composition-wide. The interlude has like a 30-second fade-out tail. That means the album is over. That is a universal sign for goodbye. You basically played closing time an hour before last call. It's psychotic. That aside, the record sounds spectacular. If you like Blut Aus Nord or ambient black metal, there's no reason to not check it out. I need to complain about that as an album reviewer and somebody with a varying stack of mental illnesses that is gonna have an issue with that, but as a music enjoyer that, is either properly medicated or isn't dealing with this, you might not even care. I don't think the record stands above their best, but it definitely hangs out in the same circles. They know each other. There's no bad blood there. I wouldn't take it over any of the Memorias or Hallucinogen, but I would take it with some Hallucinogen if you can't measure it. Anyways, that's why I'm giving it 4 out of 5 biblically accurate angels. How did you feel about it? Please listen to the end and tell me I'm not crazy and that that's a weird way to do things. But of course, I am not done. I have shoutouts for you. I have 3 more records that sort of go. Obviously, Blut Aus Nord is a hard thing to pair other records with, but these ones I think work. We've got The Ominous Circle, Cloven Tongues of Fire on Osmose Productions coming out November 28th. Surprisingly, we've got a band that mixes black doom and industrial called Woest. Album name is Vomir, Outrance. Source Atone Records, November 28th. I had to include that in here because it is pretty similar to some Blut Aus Nord stuff. Unfortunately, at least at the time of writing, the band is too stupid to have a Bandcamp page up for it, so there's a link to the YouTube video in the I don't know, you can maybe order a fucking CD. Yeah. And then last, we also have Infernal Diatribe, Mahabhuta Pralaya, Satanath Records, November 29th. You're getting some black metal and some mysticism, which also goes with all this. So I think I paired those pretty well. And the November, baby, I am currently in Japan. I'm not filming this in Japan. I filmed this before I left, but I'm in Japan, so I don't know if there's something sick I should do in Tokyo or Osaka. Holler at your boy. I know.